Hey ho, let's go. It is a happy All Star Game Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're well wherever you are. Hi, I'm Sean Pugsley Martin. This is episode 25. We've tolerated this on Pugsley's Pit. And as we always do, we begin each and every show by asking you the question, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? By way of introduction, I'm a freelance sports writer for the Albany Times-Union, an avid sports enthusiast, a big-time homer for my teams, sans apologies. As always, you can follow the show on Twitter at Pugsley's Pit and take in the podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Today's show, we're not going to waste any time, get right into it. We're going to talk about tonight's Major League Baseball All Star Game, look back at the awesome home run derby contest last night. The All-Star Game, before I get to my guest, the All-Star Game, it used to be the longest day of the summer for me as a kid. You'd wait for it all day, and then it finally happened. And I think interleague play is taking a little bit of the allure away from the game, but it's still the best of the big four. Hockey had to reinvent itself and do the 3-on-3, so I enjoy that. The NBA and the NFL, pass. No thanks. Not interested. Curious what my guests have to say. We are going to welcome back friends of our show. We have a few more guests coming on throughout the show. Chris Vitali from BallNine.com and Mike Nelson, also a BallNine and also a fellow Plattsburgh, City of Plattsburgh Tavern Association Hall of Fame member from our days back in college.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that? Yeah, it never happened.
I don't remember any of it.
Before the advent of cell phones. Because, guys, when I think of All-Star games, I think about the memories, right? You always have a moment. Everyone's got their own favorite moment. For me, the 83 game, it was my 11th All-Star game. My first one was 1973. Fred Lynn hits a grand slam and just ruins Atlee Hammaker's career. It was the first American League win in Comiskey Park. Hammaker is like Rich Gedman after trying to catch Charlie Huff's knuckleball in the Astros later on. It was never the same. No. Dave Parker with his outfield assist throwing out Brian Downing at home plate and Jim Rice at third base in the 79 game. And the one I love the most, the guy didn't even play the game. Mike Mussina. Cito Gaston tells him in 93, I'm not going to play you. I'm not going to pitch you even though it's your home field. Mussina gets up in the 8th and 9th inning and warms up, and just they almost had a riot on their hands when Cito left one of his 25% of his roster of Blue Jays, left Dwayne Ward in there to close it up. John Kruk, Randy Johnson was fun too. Thankfully, they got rid of the home field advantage for the winner. Nice try. Dumb idea. And the uniforms that they're going to wear are just beyond stupid. But, guys, what are your thoughts of the All-Star game? And Chris, you're going tonight. I'm jealous. What are your thoughts on this and the uniqueness? And to me, this what makes it special.
I mean, it's definitely, like you said, it's not the same as it was when we were young. Like you said, you wait around all day for the thing and, just couldn't wait for it to happen. Now, today, I'm trying to figure out how to beat LA traffic and, get in there before the third inning.
Should have left yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. I did. I did.
Can't you jump on Kylie Jenner's airplane?
Yeah, on her hover. I'll see if I can hold on to the riders on a helicopter like Apocalypse Now. But it's like you said. I mean, there were things in the '70s games that were just Pete Rose bowling over, taking. Oh my God.
Poor Ray Fosse.
Oh, poor Ray Fosse. But, you're not going to see that kind of thing anymore because these guys don't care. They all love each other. They're in the same union. They interleague play, like you said. I think it was 77 that it was at the Yankee Stadium. Was it the 77 game? Something like that. And I was talking to Dave Parker, and those guys, all the right fielders, it was him, Reggie Smith, Ellis Valentine, and Dave Winfield. They had a throwing contest from right field before the game. Wow. They set up a garbage can at home plate, and the four of them, I'm sure they were betting on something, whatever, And so of course I asked Dave Parker, and you always think he's going to answer himself. I was like, all right, well, who had the best arm out there in right field? And he surprisingly said Reggie Smith, and he's like, he had the accuracy, the velocity. He said he had the best arm, out of all four of them. So of course I had to ask him. I was like, but who was the best looking? And Dave Parker, being the Cobra, he just said, "Oh, no doubt." So, those things we're not seeing as much. It's like and now everything's, ESPN'd up. And, like I was driving up here last night, so I listened to some of the home run derby on the radio. And it's just more spectacle now than a game that it's like any other All-Star game. But it's still my favorite of the All-Star games because they actually have to hit and they actually have to pitch. So, and they have to play a little defense or the game will go on all night. So, I'll take it.
Well,
like for me, the nuance you
lose. It's not going to go on all night because they're going to settle it with a home run derby, which is
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, for an exhibition game, I don't hate it. I think the younger fans will like it. And but if they ever even consider bringing that into regular season, I'll riot. That's it. Yeah. I'm done. I'm a lacrosse fan.
Exactly. With full acknowledgement, I'm an old curmudgeon. Okay, I like interleague play, but for days like this, being able to see Steve Carlton pitch against Reggie Jackson, you don't see that. Now you do. Yeah. Okay, the game has changed, and that's just the way it goes, right? It's still fun, though. I mean, Kershaw getting the ball tonight. Okay, I thought Gonsolin or Alcantara should have started, but you know what? It's a career achievement award. It's still interesting. You got Ohtani and Aaron Judge and Devers leading off. It's just a lot of fun, and again, it's something different. Is there any memory, Mike? Is there anything that you stand out in your history watching this game?
Like the earliest memory of the All-Star game is Reggie hitting the radio tower in the old Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
When he almost hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, I was going to say the Hammaker moment, despite the fact that it was Fred Lynn. It was the first Grand Slam in the history of an All-Star game. Parker putting on a clinic with his cannon arm. Just a total clinic, and it was the fun of the game. And now it's still business, right? I think they'd rather have a day off. I think they'd rather not be there. They don't need the money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're seeing the phantom injuries too pop up. So I mean, so many of these guys are just not playing.
Who's that? Hey guys, my little connection problem on your end, guys. Welcome Eric McDowell. I know you guys haven't met Eric. He's an old friend of mine.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Hi guys, good to join you.
I'm now surrounded by Yankees and now a Red Sox fan, so let's keep it civil.
I have no ammo against the Yankees right now. Don't worry.
No, I got 15 and a half. I got 15 and a half reasons to be quiet today, so I just
don't have any ammo against the Orioles right now, Eric. Chris, how was the home run derby last night? What's it like being there in person?
I honestly, last night I spent half of the home run derby at the vet's office with my dog. So I got back here to the hotel just in time to see the final round. So your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
But no, I am going to the game. So I am,
right.
Yeah.
I thought you were at the derby last night.
I would have loved to, but my dog wound up with some issues. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Is the pup okay?
Yeah, he's got pancreatitis. So he was an ornery little bastard anyway. So he still is. That's all. Now he's just an ornery little bastard on pills. So it's good.
Yeah, the home run derby, Mike. You tweeted about it last night. Does the home run derby eclipse the game itself?
I think so. I mean, I honestly, I would be fine. Honestly, I would be fine if they did a 2-day home run derby and every team was represented, and the first 2 rounds were last night and the subsequent rounds and finals were today. I mean, I think that the fans love it, even though the Dodgers can't sell out the home run derby because it's the Dodgers. But I mean, the organic moment with Pujols was magic. I mean, that's the love of baseball, right? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in any other sport. And to add Cabrera and Pujols is a first class move. That's the first time in a long time that MLB has done something, and the majority of the fan base, especially us cranky old, wish the game was the way it was bastards that yell about it all the time, went, that's great. That's something. Now you're connecting to us. Now you're making it Now you're doing something that attracts us to the game, or at least makes it meaningful to us. But that organic moment with Pujols was phenomenal. You know, chicks dig the long ball, kids dig the long ball, we all dig the long ball. It's fun. I mean, Julio Rodriguez burst onto the scene last night.
Yeah.
You know, he was already, in the very small group of Mariner fans that live on planet Earth, he was already, becoming a legendary figure in the Pacific Northwest. For us baseball fans, we already knew about him. But man, that kid can play. And it was, I think it's great. And the game, it's another 4.5 hour game. You know, the introductions are cool. They could still do that. They could still introduce the players. They could still be voted as All Stars and pick up bonus money and whatever. And then you don't have to worry about Cole not being able to pitch because he pitched on Sunday. You don't have to worry about Verlander, who would have been a great start for the American League. Verlander, Kershaw would have been great tonight.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry about that stuff. And guys not being able to play because they're hurt. And every team gets a player in the home run derby. You don't worry about pitchers getting injured, and let them rip at it, and the place would go nuts, and people would watch it.
I love to hear, Sean, these old school guys like me and you.
Yeah, right.
I really do. I want to touch on the kid that it's nice to see a Seattle uniform get some national coverage for once. Okay. Yeah. You'd have to go back to Randy Johnson and A-Rod days, which is ridiculous. The kid's a stud. He's built like it. He is the future. We always keep saying Trout's the future. He's not. He's over 30. And here is a kid who is a stud. Really looks great. The other thing, of course, is the Soto performance. What is he going to get an offer? Is he looking now with Boris for 30 years and $800 million? I mean, come on. Ridiculous.
Partial ownership.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to afford him. Maybe Jeff Bezos, or he'll wear an, Amazon
I think Soto's issue was the term. Why would he commit for 15 years? You know, it's a
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I also think,
who let the dogs out?
I don't know, but another thing about the Soto thing, obviously his performance in the Derby was fantastic, but I'm seeing all these, just trade, hypothetical trades and everything on Twitter and everywhere else. And people are willing to give up the farm for him. And you have to understand, you're only getting 2.5 years of Soto. If you think he's re-signing immediately, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Because he's absolutely going to test free agency again in 2.5 years. So if it's a team that wants to put together, three pennant races. So, if you're ready to compete, that's great. But, if you're going to give up 6-7 guys of your top, 5 of your top prospects, are you crazy? Are you crazy for that little short window? Everything is so uncertain anyway in a baseball season because it's so long. I think people are out of their minds that they're just willing to give up anything and everything and just for 2.5 years of this guy. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that because everybody thinks that if you trade for him, you have him for 15 years. No, that's not the case at all because you're also with Scott Boras. Come on.
You got to check the fine print on those contracts.
Yeah.
I'm surprised on two fronts. I'm surprised on two fronts. I'm surprised that they even made him that offer if that offer did happen. And then I'm surprised that they're considering trading him because the team is for sale. The Lerners want to sell the team. And your centerpiece of your franchise, you're not going to sign somebody to a $400 million contract and then say, here's your new ball club. You've got your centerpiece for the next 15 years, which the AAV was a joke. So that's why he didn't take it, would be my guess. But then B, if the team is for sale, if I'm him, I want to ride it out. I want to sign a 15-year contract on a team that's going to turn into the Senators.
Well, that's true. It's funny how the capital of the United States, Sean, is now a small market team. Yeah, and they owned for 2 before. That's pathetic. But the thing that really stands out too is remember about what Correa did. I'll take a little 1 year, and all of a sudden I'll have a tremendous year, and I'll be healthy, and then watch the Bucks come in. So there's a lot of guys like Devers. You've got teams like Boston that will have to trade Bogarts to pay Devers. It's pretty sad. The one thing I want to throw out to you guys, though, to watch everybody come around Albert Pujols to wear the uniform he should have kept for life. It reminded me of Ted Williams in the '99 All Star game.
Yep.
I was going to ask you about that.
I was going to say the same thing.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, Ted wasn't active, of course, but everybody from McGuire, Sosa, Gwynn, they were drawn to him. And that was pretty emotional. And I'm not a Cardinal fan, but I'm a baseball fan. And Albert really soaked it in. And that, to me, was the highlight, to see everybody drawn and to see him advance, too. That was cool.
Yeah.
Did it look like Schwarber was trying to hit gappers last night? I know he just had an off night with his home runs, but it struck me during. I'm like, he almost doesn't even look like he's trying to yank the ball out of the park. Is he trying to lay down for Pujols?
It looked like he had 4 D'Alessandro's cheesesteaks before he got on the plane to Los Angeles. Is what it looked like.
He always looks like that.
Yeah, he looked like he ate him. Right? Like while Polar Bear was meditating, he was wolfing down a.
I saw the highlights
with hot peppers on it.
What was he deadlifting? I
He
saw
didn't look right.
Something was looked off there.
He didn't look right the whole event. Here's my question for you guys. Let's go back to Soto real quick. The 2 Yankee fans, if you can trade for him, swing it. You got the prospects, but it costs you Aaron Judge. Are you happy, Eric? Nope. If you get him, you're not getting Bogarts or Devers. You can't pay all of them.
Right.
What would you guys like to see your teams do? I see the Yankee fans are shaking their head no.
Give me Luis Castillo tomorrow.
Exactly. Just, bring some pitching in to bolster that rotation.
Yep. Help the rotation, help the back of the bullpen.
Absolutely. Do not give up, the next 10, 15 years of your future for 2.5 years of Soto. I just don't. I don't get it.
The Soto trade, we're not talking about Peraza, Clark Schmidt. And
you're talking Dominguez. You're talking Volpe.
You're talking Volpe, Dominguez, and
a major league ready guy like Glaber. I mean, that's what you're looking at.
And you're giving up this year. Like, it's win now mode. Like, you don't have a first half like this. You got the only focus should be, what do we need to win today? That's it. The window.
Soto's not going to all of a sudden turn them into a championship team because he can't pitch.
Treat it like this is Judge's last year. And get him, and I mean, it's all in. Win a championship while he's here, because nothing's guaranteed. Especially with Boris, nothing's guaranteed. You never know where he's going to end up. He could end up in Texas next year. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. So go all in right now while you're hot and while you've got the players that are healthy to win.
If I were the Yankees, before I get to Eric, if I was the Yankees, I would get on the phone with Oakland before Frankie Montas takes that ball tomorrow night.
Oh, yes.
He's okay. If his shoulder's okay where he's going to start one of the games of the doubleheader on Thursday, not tomorrow, on Thursday, I'd get him in New York. He's a hard-nosed bulldog type of guy.
I'd ask him to pack Sean Murphy in his bag, too.
You could do that because the A's,
find a way to get them both.
The Futures Game MVP, Shea Langler, came over in the Matt Olson trade, and he's ready. The catcher.
Yep.
Murphy's expendable, and Laureano's starting to hit. And by the way, since I brought up the A's, I might as well get this off my chest. The story out, Paul Blackburn was going to fly commercial from Houston to LA for the game, and the Astros said, "Why don't you jump on our charter?" And that just reeks to John Fisher being a teabag and everything else. Okay, I got that out.
Charlie Finley vibes.
Oh, don't bring up Charlie. Charlie Finley was my childhood. That was awful.
They were going to pay for an Uber. They were going to send him an Uber from Oakland to Los Angeles.
The shared Uber, no less.
Yeah,
a couple bucks, right? Yeah,
they couldn't get him in a standby
the elephant
flight.
Mascot. Eric, would you sacrifice Devers and Bogarts for Soto? Because I'll tell you what, if Soto has a big game tonight and gets the MVP with the home run derby, even though it doesn't mean a damn thing, optically it does. Eric, what would you give that up?
I would pull the plug on this season, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I wake up this morning, guys, and I see Betts is giving Bogarts and Devers advice on a contract. Oh, now I feel like your dog. Okay, that makes me feel lovely. Thanks a lot. But no, it's time to pull the plug. I don't want to hear that close in the card. The fact is, Yankees, Houston, they're nowhere in that ballpark, literally and figuratively. Okay, I don't want to bring in a big contract because people that used to get a $20 bleacher seat, you can't take your family to tiny little Fenway anymore. Sean knows this. They got to get a 55,000 big ballpark, put 20,000 on sale every night, get the families back because people aren't going to pay to go anymore. And if you bring in the contract, but I would trade Devers. I would trade Bogarts, Sean, right now. Get what you can for him because he's going to be gone. It's sad. He's the face of the team. But Devers is special, and they've got to throw everything at him. And I'd also deal Evaldi. I think they can get a lot of good prospects because remember that Mr. Dombrowski, as they find out now in Philly, will trade everybody in the farm system.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to see that garden again, doesn't it, guys?
Well, Detroit's just realizing it now. And how long since he was
Yes.
there? 10 years? Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think if Sale doesn't get hurt on Sunday, which was really unfortunate because he worked hard to get back. But going into the second half with Evaldi and Sale, and then some of the other pitchers being healthy, you start to think, well, let me get in. We got a little bit of magic, but they don't have the pitching depth. And you're right about Bogarts. They could treat Bogarts like the Yankees treated Chapman. And they turned Chapman into Glaber, and then they re-signed Chapman in the offseason.
Yeah.
So that's always
And
out
we
there.
have
Well, that
no
was smart.
major league-
Yeah.
We have no major league first baseman right now.
Yeah.
So that's another factor. It's time to pull the plug.
I hate to interrupt. I just got a text from a minor league GM. Everyone's favorite Rob Manfred apparently just said, "I kind of reject the premise of the question that minor league players are not paid a living wage."
Really?
So, yeah. So apparently that's Manfred's foot in mouth for today.
Well, you got to put it in. You got to put it in context. They are paid a living wage if you're only living for a week.
Well, yeah. If you want to live with 8 guys in a 2-bedroom, I mean,
If your life
sure.
expectancy is
McNugget.
13 days, you're paid a living wage. But if
I can see Manfred like rationalizing that too. Like, living wage is relevant. Like, okay, but it's All-Star weekend. You really have to say something that's stupid? Come on, man.
Here's the thing with that, and Chris, I said this guy. I'm going to assume you're a good dog owner. You gave up a home run derby. You go to the vet. Your dog eats better than these minor leaguers do. All right, their per diem's higher. It's
better than
insane.
I do half the time.
It's insane what they do. He's a moron.
I just can't believe that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just thought that was
No. We'll
my
take
dog was
Tracy.
standing in the living. My dog was standing in the living room chasing his tail, which he's wont to do when he's bored, spinning in a circle. And I tried to get a video of it last night so I could post it as Rob Manfred trying to figure out the next iteration of the All-Star game.
Perfect.
Can I ask you guys, I don't know, Sean, if you had touched on it earlier about how they're ending the game.
Oh, the home run derby.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, seriously, you're announcing it now. Okay. That's really great. But at least the game doesn't mean what it used to, where a game would, some guy with the Royals pinch hits and wins the All-Star game. And now the American League gets home field in the series. That was ridiculous. But I'm not sure about this. It's like a hockey shootout type of thing. Call it a tie. I know everybody likes a winner and a loser in our country, but I don't like this gimmicky stuff. Although it is an all-star game, it is a show.
Yeah.
I think they're
is.
trying different things. They whiffed on a few. No, they whiffed on a bunch. I think they just got to try something so they're not there all night and you run out of pitchers. That becomes even more embarrassing.
I mean, that is a memorable All-Star moment. The look on the player's face when that game ended in a tie. And they're looking at each other like probably the first tie they played in since they were in T-ball. When you're not supposed to keep score. Like they had no idea. Like they're just like, what are we doing? It's a tie. Like, what are you talking about? So at least there's an outcome, and this is another one. But you're right, Eric. This is another one of those gimmicks that Manfred wants to sneak in to try in the minors to avoid. In inning 13, we're going to go to a home run derby, or in inning 12, we're going to go to a home run derby after we put 3 players on second base in the 11th inning, and you automatically get a run, and you only get 1 ball as a walk, or whatever the hell they're going to do. And you got to pitch from your knees underhand with no.
How about putting a guy at third with no outs? There you go.
Oh.
And we'll just have like field goals in football OT, right?
Exactly.
It'll be like college football OT.
Exactly.
Put a guy at third and make Charlie Huff pitch to Rich Gedman. Done.
Yeah.
I'll pitch him.
Done. Yeah, and make Giancarlo Stanton the batter So the guy's got to be in a turtle the entire time at third base in case he makes contact and he doesn't kill him.
All right, here, okay, buzz killers. Here's the thing. Baseball does some good things, though. The Ted Williams bit, George Steinbrenner in the new Yankee Stadium. Isn't that really what it's about in the game? Is the game almost secondary now once you do it? I love the player intros. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But they do actually get a couple things right. Not much, not often.
Well, the uniforms, they're wearing their actual uniform in the Derby. They're not wearing those goofball marketing blue jerseys, okay? I'm
Saving those
sorry.
for tonight,
Cardinals are not blue. They wore their real unis last night. That's a plus.
but not tonight, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think if they're wearing those weird gold and
Oh, no.
gold and black.
Yeah,
and black
yeah,
and gold
it's-
and-
they're still better than last year. Those things that they made last year look like ugly pajamas. They look like something that like you sit next to a guy on a cross country flight, and that's like the tracksuit that he's wearing.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that was the idea that they threw out in Vancouver when the Canucks had those old band uniforms, and they resurrected it for the
but the
All-Star.
V's,
Yeah.
those are awesome, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Tie-dye.
The worst of those uniforms was keeping Chris Berman on the home run derby for 30 years after his prime.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to admit, like the little bit that I saw last night, I missed Chris Berman on it. Because they have that weird split screen. Yeah, I mean, at least he brings some excitement to it. I mean, like with the split screen, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just like,
I got Bermaned out over time though, but last night was weird.
But if you drag him out like once or twice a year for something like that, come on, it's fine. That's enough Berman for the year. You're good. You avoid burnout.
Couple hours.
Back.
Yeah, if they can trot him out for halftime, the fastest 2 minutes, if they can bring that back, there's no reason they couldn't bring him back. I mean, Ravitch is fine, but there needs to be personality there needs to be some personality in that announcing. There's a lot. Yeah. What I didn't like about last night is there's a lot of discussion going on about a lot of other stuff and you're missing home runs, right? So they're not even and it's difficult during the day. It was difficult early to see where the ball was going. Where at night you see those long, majestic home runs, it makes it a little bit difficult. But that's not LA's fault, or that's not the game's fault. But they could do a better job of having some kind of personality involved in announcing the home run derby, and get away from the 80 conversations about. And I get I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the best that they can, given the fact that Major League Baseball markets its players, as poorly as any sport in the United States.
Yeah,
they're trying to market the players, like ESPN is trying to market making them marketable, giving them a mic during spring training, doing in-game interviews. They're trying to show the personality of the players. I get that, but. Like, I don't know, Soto went from 8 to 11 last night. I don't think I saw any of the 3 home runs because they were panned on something else.
Yeah, I know. The home run that won it wasn't shown.
Right.
Kind of overkill.
He did have the best bat flip of the night last night too.
Yes, he did.
Take the 2 little cameras in front of the plate, because it feels like I'm a worm. All right, the little ones that are in front, where you're looking up at the guy, put them out and right and left, and add some more cameras. Do you guys want Michael Buffer to add to the broadcast? That would
that'd be great.
I'd like that.
That would be cool.
Here's some more up there since we're talking All-Stars. Just breaking on Twitter. Ken Griffey Jr. is the 9th highest paid Cincinnati Reds player this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
14 years.
Yeah. 2008 was his last season. He's the 9th highest paid player.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hey guys, give me an MVP prediction tonight. Who's going to step up? Who's going to have the moment? And it used to be a big deal to win a car. Now, a little less luster off that, but still, All-Star Game MVP is MVP. Who you got?
They do usually donate that car. A lot of the players donate that car,
That's nice.
It is very nice. It's really nice. Some of them get
it. To see Kershaw get it. A starting pitcher can get it. Pedro got it at Fenway. If he mows him down, gives 2 solid innings, why not? Why not Kershaw?
I can see that. I'm going to go a little outside the box. I don't know why. I think tonight's going to be like a glorified home run derby. I I think the only guy who's going to hit it like a bases clearing double to win the game for the American League is our own Luis Arias from the
There you
Minnesota
go.
Twins.
Great
And
call.
he reminds me of like a Rod Carew type,
Rod
we had
Carew.
Tony Oliva type, and apparently, according to him, he's worked with Carew, he's worked with Oliva, and he's probably the only guy who's willing to, go, from the left side of the plate to left field, clear the bases. American League wins 5-2 or 13-10, depending. But yeah, that's my weird pick.
Great call.
Mike, what about you?
I'm going to go with me as the MVP because I think I'm going to be able to stay awake for the entire game. And if I can, I am going to run down to my local trophy shop and get myself a participation medal tomorrow that has All-Star Game MVP etched in it. I'm going with Byron Buxton.
Oh,
Really?
another twin?
Yep, I think Byron Buxton has the opportunity to show the league and another player mired in a market that doesn't get a lot of press except for when they're losing to the Yankees in the postseason. He's a tremendous player, especially if he's healthy. He's tremendous, and I think that he can use this as another young player to burst out tonight. So I'm going with Minnesota like Chris, but I'm going with Byron Buxton.
I like the Buxton pick as long as he can get to center field without getting hurt.
Yeah.
I want to take Soto, but I won't. I think it's Aaron Judge's year. I think he's the MVP. I think Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner are going to be weeping tonight when he hits 2 home runs.
Oh.
And they think about the money they're going to have to keep him and the PR hit.
If he hits 2 home runs, Twitter is going to explode.
Oh, my God.
Yankee Twitter will lock up and shut the entire platform down tonight if he hits 2 home runs.
I'm just shutting my phone off.
Before I let you guys go, Eric, are you DVRing the Derek Jeter 7-part documentary as the Red Sox fan?
Am I supposed to actually answer that question? I'll wait for the Jeter Downs one in 20 years. How's that?
What's more likely? You'll watch that, or I'll watch the 30 for 30 on the fumble.
Hey, one quick note about the Twins. While you mentioned the Twins, to give them love, is we're going to Cooperstown this week. Obviously, the big topic show. Yeah. But it'll be neat to see 2 longtime Twins, Jim Cott and Tony Oliva, finally get in. And I'm going to be in an area where I'm going to feel like I'm around a lake. There's going to be so many happy class act Twins fans in central New York this week. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I anticipate Jim Cott's speech being fantastic.
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah,
the stories that he's going to tell.
He was always.
I just got his book too, so I'm looking forward to starting that thing. So
sweet. All right, look, I look at the clock, Chris. You gotta get that 10-hour trek to Dodger Stadium going.
I gotta beat the traffic. I'm 14 miles away, but it'll probably take me about 3.5 hours to get there.
Yeah, you'll get there for the 7th inning. Have a Dodger dog.
They'll probably shut down the concessions by the time I get there.
$39, I think they are this year.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll expense it.
But you get that's right.
You need help with that. I can help with that too, Chris.
Yeah, he used all the budget for himself and his food at Dodger Stadium, and the rest of the BallNine staff are watching Fox tonight.
Yeah, but you might get that Dodgers dog might be wrapped in a really cool all-star wrapping that
black with gold letters.
Throwing it away. Just don't get lost.
Just shove it in my pocket and forget about it.
There you go.
It'll stink up my car for a couple weeks.
Now it's a souvenir. Souvenir
wrapper.
There you go. Whatever it takes.
Mini bat.
All right. Gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on. Let's enjoy the All-Star game.
Yeah, let's enjoy.
All right.
You, guys. Enjoy the game, guys.
Thank you. Bye. Enjoy.
All righty. Eric, how you doing? Stay on for a minute. I haven't seen you.
Sure. It's great to see you, Sean, and that was a lot of fun. Tremendous picks. Luis Arias, I just read about him. You talk about a guy under the radar. That would be awesome. This is the week of the Twins. And then Buxton. Yeah.
It may be. It may just be. So, all right, look, buddy, great seeing you. I'm sure we'll catch up to you again soon, eh?
Yes. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for the time, and keep up the good work, and go A's.
Go A's. And our one representative. That's all we get. All right. Be good.
Take care.
Oh, enjoyed the All-Star game talk. Hey, let's move to my world. Bruins. Krejci, Bergeron, you hear it's going to happen. Sign the paperwork. Get it done. There's no reason. Bergeron called. He called Zaka after the big trade with Arikala the other night when free agency opened. Don Sweeney, I think you're awful. I think you're terrible at your job. But at least get these guys signed. No waiting. Krejci, by all accounts, he's coming back for one more year, one more run with this group. Just get it done so we can finally get the breaking news and move on as Bruins fans. On another good note, and trust me, Bergeron and Krejci, one more year, I'll take it. And if there's a big rebuild coming after that, there is, but I'll take it. Guess what's open, folks? The Las Vegas, don't call us Oakland Raiders. Camp is open. Rookies reported yesterday. I'm excited. It's going to be a great year. Training camp, I think the Raiders get it open pretty quick because they're in the Hall of Fame game against Jacksonville coming up. So it's good to have football season coming. Give us a lot to talk about here, a lot of diversity with different sports and whatnot. But I'm jacked for this season for the Raiders. And you know what? There's one rule in preseason. I don't want to see the trainers running out on the field. No injuries. Stay healthy. Don't risk it. It's not worth it. You get your reps in practice. You get ready for opening day. And, it's awesome. The Raiders get to open the season at home this year in LA against the Chargers and their 7-person fan base. But anyway, we're looking forward to this season, probably the most since the 02 Super Bowl season, I would say. So let's get it done. Raider Nation, it's that time. Before I leave you, shameless plug of the week, my book, Dear Liam and Noah, Letters from Daddy, a book I wrote to my kids 2 years ago. I was in the process of doing it. Just life lessons I learned and mistakes I made, successes I had. They're going to be facing some of the same challenges I did, and we all do. School, career, job, relationships. With hopes they could learn from me instead of having to go through some of the hardships and then find their own path to success. So Dear Liam and Noah, Letters from Daddy on Amazon. With that, I leave you until next week for the All Star game tonight, folks. And I'm going to follow up. And somebody will have that big moment, maybe find a career, especially a young player. See that happen last night. Maybe Miguel Cabrera gets a big hit tonight, or Clayton Kershaw can dominate on the hill like he has his whole career in his home stadium. Enjoy. Have a great week.